All right, let's just jump right in. Today, we're going to be deconstructing one of Iain Banks's most cynical and action-packed standalone sci-fi novels, Against a Dark Background. And let me tell you, it's a relentless story set in a truly unforgettable universe.
In that universe, well, it's built on a pretty wild foundation. I mean, just try to imagine a world that's absolutely saturated with the tools of war, where violence is just a normal way of life. But nobody, and I mean nobody, can even remember why the fighting started in the first place. That, in a nutshell, is the planet Golgotha.
Okay, so let's really explore this place, which Banks frames with this brilliant concept he calls unearned history.
So, what exactly is unearned history? Well, it's this fascinating idea that really creates the whole atmosphere for the book. See, Golgotha is a world just littered with the ruins and weapons of some ancient civilization. A civilization so advanced and so incredibly violent that it looks like it just completely wiped itself out. And the people living there now? They've inherited all this destructive power, but absolutely none of the context. The fighting feels pointless because, well, it is. And the technology itself? Oh man, it just leans right into this absurdity. We're talking about things like lazy guns. Yep, guns with bullets that literally find their own way to the target. You've got anti-personnel mini-missiles, reality-distorting devices, and of course, the ultimate mythical weapon at the heart of it all, the last active device. This is technological nihilism at its most creative and its most deadly. So, right at the center of all this chaos, we find our protagonist, and she's on a truly impossible mission: the hunt for that very same weapon. Okay, so on one side, we have our protagonist, Sharrow. She's an ex-mercenary, an elite killer who is just completely and utterly tired of it all. And on the other side, the Lucifrins. They're this powerful, ruthless corporate family that pretty much embodies unchecked aristocratic power, and they are nursing a massive vendetta against her. And believe me, the stakes are incredibly high. The Luciferians don't just want Sharrow dead, they want to make her suffer. So they hit her with this insane ultimatum: find this mythical weapon, which, by the way, might not even exist, or everyone she cares about will be executed. And she's only got 1 year to do it. Just one. That clock is ticking from the very first page, and it creates this incredible sense of pressure and desperation that just drives the whole story forward. So what exactly is this last active device, or LAD, anyway? Well, it's basically the ultimate MacGuffin. It's a piece of technology so powerful it's practically a myth, something capable of near cosmic destruction. Really, it represents humanity's obsessive quest for ultimate power. You know, that one final weapon to end all arguments. But this whole frantic quest, it's not just an action story, not at all. Banks uses it to explore some really profound themes. So let's take a look at the lessons we can pull from all this chaos, what it means to find some kind of meaning in a world that feels so nihilistic. So, you can pretty much distill the novel's core message down into 5 key lessons. First, that the endless cycle of revenge proves that violence, it only ever creates more violence. It's a trap, and it consumes everyone who gets caught in it. Second, for all their incredible technology, the characters are still just driven by petty human hatreds. It's a pretty stark reminder that fancy weapons can't fix what's broken inside. Third, that whole unearned history thing on Golgotha, it shows us that a past you haven't dealt with will always contaminate the present. The ghosts of what came before, they never really leave. Fourth, even in this nihilistic hellscape, your choices still matter. Shirawa's loyalty to her friends, that becomes this powerful act of moral defiance against all the meaninglessness around her. And finally, and this is the big one, the quest for power is often way more destructive than the power itself. And this really visualizes one of the book's darkest lessons. As our technological power just skyrockets, our capacity for pettiness, for grudges, for pure human cruelty, well, it scales right alongside it. We just find more efficient and more devastating ways to act on our worst impulses. Okay, so let's bring this all together. Why does this bleak, cynical story about a killer on a chaotic planet actually matter? What is the real meaning behind this hunt for ultimate power? And in the end, it really comes down to this. The story isn't really about the LAD itself. It's about what the frenzied hunt for the LAD does to people. All the betrayals, the violence, the sacrifices. That entire destructive journey is what truly defines the characters, way more than whatever power they might get at the end of it all. And that's really where the book turns its questions back on us. I mean,
What if you were born into a world like this? A world saturated with incredible power, but just totally devoid of meaning? How would you even begin to make things right? How would you find your own moral anchor?
Which leaves us with one final thought-provoking question. The lad is a mythical object of ultimate power in the book. But what are the last active devices driving political or corporate conflict in our world today? What abstract goals or legendary prizes are pushing people and nations to the brink in a frenzied hunt for something that might not even be worth the cost of the chase?